Hi, good people. So today I want to ask a question, and this goes to men. If you underwent postpartum depression, how could you have handled it? Or let's say, if you're the one giving birth, the pain that comes with giving birth, could you have handled it? Because I know men handle the pain of paying bills and other things, maybe circumcision and stuff like that. But I would like to know, if you're a man, would you have handled giving birth or postpartum depression? Because let alone that, what about periods? Could you, like, fathom having cramps and periods? I would like to know. If you're a man, kindly comment down below. And you're new here, if you're new here, kindly welcome to my channel. This is your girl Pauline, the owner of the channel. But anyway, you will see so many faces in the channel. And let me know. I have my email in my about section. Guys, go there, ask me questions, send me ideas of the videos that you want for me to do for you. And also I have IG. It's also there. Kindly go there, text me, tell me anything you want to tell me, and I will come back and share. So guys, let's jump to our video today. So for me, being a first-time mom, I thought people who undergo postpartum depression, it's like something that you love yourself too much, because there are those people who like to love themselves so much, and whatever pain or the small thing that you feel that it can be handled, you take it so long, you take it like it's personal, So I never thought postpartum depression is that stressing or it's that serious to say. And for me, I thought it's just people creating up their own things of postpartum depression and stuff like that. So today, guys, I want to share with you how I underwent postpartum depression. And this is how it all started, because checking back, when I had to, my water broke and I had to give time, you have to give birth before time. So my preterm baby came, and definitely as a mom, I can't truly recall, after I was taken into the hospital, all those hours before I went to the theater room, I truly don't remember where I was and what was happening. But for me, I didn't feel pain giving birth, because maybe God had sent a good gainer for me not to undergo all that process of feeling pain and everything, because I was into so many medications that would help me sustain the baby until the baby was born. So I gave birth to a preterm baby, and it was one of the most toughest time in my life and my husband's life, because now we had to stay in the hospital for so long. We stayed for 21 days, and each and every day was it was just a day by itself, because we needed to be strong. Every day I would cry, I would just be sick, everything, and things were unfolding themselves. From being sick, today I'm not happy, tomorrow I have no appetite, the next day I'm crying, the next day I'm like complaining, and so many things happened to me when I was in the hospital. And now coming to terms that I have to sleep in this hospital for 21 days or until my baby is fine, for me, shattered my mind completely and made me feel that I'm losing it. So the first week for me, it was so much okay, because I knew it's just a one thing or a one-time thing, like a 1 week thing, and everything is done and my baby is perfect. What I didn't know is for preterm babies, they have to undergo like a lot of medication, a lot of care, a lot of supervisions. So you have to monitor how the baby is feeding, you have to monitor the baby's heartbeats, how the baby is breathing, how the baby is growing, and such kind of things. So my baby's doctor would come every day and check the baby's weight, come check the baby's health, come check if the baby is improving on 1, 2, 3 things. And for me, I thought that was just a 1 week thing and we are let to go home. Only did I know that we had to stay longer. So my first week, it was not all that bad, because I'd not healed, number one, and number two, I was praying to God. By the time I'm leaving the hospital, the baby's umbilical cord has fallen off. So those are the things I was targeting. So the umbilical cord falling off, because truly I don't know how I could have handled that thing. And I don't know what I could have done, because I don't know if I could have washed the baby or try and treat that wound, because I don't know if it's painful or not. So I don't know, guys. So we stayed the first week, and now the challenge started when the baby was in the incubators, and heavy machines and stuff like that. And now I'm not able even to breastfeed my own baby. So the baby was under formula milk, whereby the baby was being given formula milk. And I remember that one day a nurse came and asked me, Pauline, we want to feed your baby. Please, can you give us the milk? And I was like, milk? You said me, I give you milk. I'm sorry, nurse, I don't have milk. This is 3 days post. This is 3 days post delivery, and I don't have milk yet coming out, and I'm so stressed. Now I'm like, how do I even get the milk? So the nurse told me. In fact, the nurses were so good to me. They were like, just calm down, the milk will come. They were not harsh. But now when they tell you that, mentally you feel like, oh, so I need to push myself, or I need to look for a way to get milk for my baby. So I'm like, I'm trying to press the normal way women do. Women, we are creative people. You have to press your boob for the milk to come out. You have to express it manually if you can't do it. So you have to do it manually for your baby to get milk. So I'm seated there, I don't know what to do. And that day the nurse asked me for baby's milk, and she told me, even if it's just a spoonful of milk, just give it to us so that we can give the baby. Your milk is so important to the baby's body than the formula milk. So I went back to my room, and I felt so like the earth was coming to an end. Like this earth is coming to an end. So I'm like, I got so emotional. I felt like crying. Literally I cried, trying to figure out, no, where am I going to get the milk from? Mark you, my boobs that time was so swollen. You could just touch it, and it was like a heavy stone was inside my boob. So I tried pressing and nothing was coming out. So I cried so much in the room, and accidentally, or maybe by good luck, one of the senior nurses was just going around, and she came to my room, and she asked me, oh, how are you? What's your name? I just told her my name, introduced myself, and you seem not to be happy. Are you okay? Is the baby okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm okay. I've been told to give milk for the baby, but I'm like, I don't have milk. And she told me, oh, madam, you don't have to worry about it. You looks like you have so much milk on your boobies. You just need to do something on it. And I'm like, I've tried even squeezing them for the milk, but nothing is coming out. She told me, relax, you don't need to cry, you don't need to do anything. Just give me a minute, I'm coming back. So she went, washed her hands, and came back in the room, pressed my boobs with her 2 fingers like this at the nipple point, and the milk gushed out. So she told me, you see, you have milk. It's just that you're tensed and everything. You need to relax, you need to calm down. Don't overstress or think yourself. If you do that, the baby will suffer. You will not have milk. And I'm like, oh, okay, fine. So let me go and breastfeed my baby. So that was one postpartum depression that had attacked me because I didn't have milk. And I truly didn't see myself falling or sinking into emotions because of milk. And now I'm here, I have milk. Now I have to go to the nursery and feed my baby. Only for me to go to the nursery and then now find out my baby cannot breastfeed directly, because now what do we call this part of the baby able to hold the nipple well and breastfeed, because they're too young, and they're this system, I don't know what to call it, I've forgotten the name, is not like active. Like the baby is getting tired trying to suck the milk. So the baby could just pull once and that's it, and the baby would sleep. So that's another thing that made me fall into depression, because I'm trying so much to give this baby the milk. I'm trying to work hard so much to produce milk for the baby, but now my baby is not breastfeeding, as I thought it's an easy thing. So breastfeeding is also not an easy thing. So I was like, oh my God, now my baby is not even feeding. Again, I started shedding tears and crying, and the nurse was like, relax. If you do cry and get stressed, the milk will get lost. So just calm down. Let's try what we can do. It's just a matter of training the baby how to feed, and with time the baby will come to know how to feed. So for me that was so strange, and telling me to calm down was like telling me like not to think about anything, and not to have those thoughts. So I was so stressed, and I would try and smile, but literally my tears were coming out, and I don't know what to do. So the nurses told me, let's try again. So I was shown how to hold the baby, how to latch the baby on my booby and make the baby feed. So my baby would just hold the nipple, definitely not the right way. And then the baby is not even sucking, even he's not having an effort of even sucking it or pulling the milk. No, we had to tap on the legs, where we should tap the baby on the legs. We should put a little bit pressure on the baby to wake up so that the baby can feed. So that's another depression. Me seeing the nurses hitting or being told I should always constantly tap the baby's foot to remind the baby you should wake up and feed. It's time for feeding. So all these things came to my mind, and I was like, what the hell is this now? I got myself into troubles now. Why is it happening to me, God? I prayed for a baby, but I didn't pray for all these things that are coming up. And I truly crashed for the milk. I truly crashed for all those thoughts that were in me, and now my baby cannot feed. Guys, I just felt as if this world was just ending up and ending. So that day passed, and as we continued with the days and the week passed by, every day we would notice something new. It was not like we discover, but it's something new that the doctors knew this is a process that has to take place. But for me as a new mom, it was like a new discovery of a new thing that is happening. And now the baby has to be treated jaundice, you see. So I always had moms being told that you need to take your baby out to have sun and everything, but not the hospital where I was. There is nowhere you can take your baby out to sunbathe or do such kind of things. So the babies were being put in a nursery because it was an intensive care unit. The baby were put in the nursery, and then there was so much heat for them because kids, they're never dressed, they were never put on clothes. It's just a diaper. And I know this happens to all the nurseries, the neonatal intensive care units. Babies are never dressed up, they're just put on a diaper and that's it. So my baby had jaundice, and it was so much because if you touch my baby's skin, forehead or skin, it was like pink. It was hot red. It was like hot red. And once you just touch the baby's skin, it would turn to yellow, and then you see it coming back to red. That was how it was, so much. And I didn't understand all this because I thought the baby is just, I never knew of jaundice. I just know jaundice, but I never knew how harmful or how it is treated. So I just knew it was just a matter of taking the baby out to the sun and coming back, taking the baby and coming back, you see. But now, I never knew this jaundice, how it looked like in the baby, until I got my own. So because now we have to treat it, the baby was put under a phototherapy machine to try and reduce the jaundice in the baby's eyes and the baby's body. So to me, that's another thing that made me feel as if I'll just shut down, because putting a baby in a phototherapy machine, it made the baby drop in weight. Having given birth, my baby was at 2 kgs, but now when the baby was put in the phototherapy machine, my baby weight dropped to 1.7. That made me feel as if I'm not doing anything. I'm not feeding my baby. I'm not doing anything. That made me cry. That made me feel as if I'm just a worthless person. I'm not remorseful to the baby. And now what can I do? Now trying to figure out my baby is not breastfeeding well, and that will also help. Constant breastfeeding of the baby will help in reducing jaundice. Now my baby is not feeding well. My baby doesn't know how to latch. My baby doesn't have strength to fight these jaundice and everything. So I just felt as if I'm just a worthless mom. And I was like, why was I given this baby? If only I knew the baby was coming to have a stressful life out here. So The nurses told me it's common for everybody. So this was being told to me every time, every now and then by nurses, so that at least I can calm down and know that it's not me who is fighting it. Even the other women who were in the nursery with me, they were also going the same thing. So it was just a matter of time and the baby will be okay. So all I need to be strong for my baby so that my baby can grow. And now my husband would tell me, you know, babe, if you keep on crying, shutting down, you're always weak, you're always not happy, all these things you're translating to the baby. The baby the baby is connected to you. The baby can feel the disappointment you have. The baby can feel you're crying and everything, you're not happy. And the minute you do that, definitely the baby will think that he or she is the problem. So the baby's health will deteriorate. So you need to raise your spirit, become happy, try showing positive attitude in everything you do, and the baby will be fine. So I'll try force myself be happy, even if it was killing me inside. I'll try be happy, and this I was doing for my baby so that I can feed my baby. But with time, I tried breastfeeding the baby. My baby will just latch and just pull once the milk, and that's it, and sleeps off. I tried tapping the baby's leg, no nothing, no feeding, no nothing. Instead, the baby would just unlatch, and that's it. The baby slept. So my baby stayed in the phototherapy machine for, I think, 2 days. That is 48 hours. And now the feeding was again. My baby was not using the bottle to feed, but my baby was so comfortable using a cup or the syringe to administer the milk to him. So that is what my baby liked so much, and he could feed. And I was so shocked that this baby would only feed 40 ml. For me, if I'm told the baby has fed below 40 ml, it was like a torture. It was like literally a torture. But if I had my baby has fed 45 to 50 ml, I would be so happy, like, oh, that's a massive step up. So I would be happy that day. I would cheer. I would look at as a happy mom. And now I had to work more hard, feed well so that I give the baby milk. But I had milk and my boobs were so swollen. But now where am I taking this milk? Because my baby is not feeding directly for me. So every day, each and every day, I would be trained on how to hold the baby, make the baby latch, and make the baby breastfeed. We would stay there like an hour or so trying to, I'm just holding the baby and see if the baby's would feel like to breastfeed and try pull the milk out of me. So that was a process. And kindly remember that my mind is still not sane, because everything is running in my mind as if it's happening to me. Like, why is this happening? Why am I going through this? Will it ever end? Will these things be like easier one day? Will I ever see my baby breastfeeding directly from me? Will we ever connect, and such kind of things? And then with time, I started seeing, I would see other mothers do kangaroo, and I'm like, I can't do this kangaroo because my baby is okay. But what I forgot is that my baby is a preterm baby. So I also need to do kangaroo for my baby to be comfortable. So we did a kangaroo. I started. Okay. So now the only challenge I had was taking care of my baby each and every day, waking up after every 3 hours. I'd go feed my baby, and now my baby is only taking 40 ml. That was like a challenge to me. I just felt like not in place, because I could see women with smaller kids, they're in incubators, but the milk they would give their babies in a day, it's like 60 ml. And I'm like, why is my baby taking only 40 ml? So for me, that traumatized me so much. And now I remember one day when my husband came and told me you should breastfeed the baby, and I was so stressed. And the only answer I could tell him was, you can also breastfeed him. And I just left the nursery and left him. So basically, my mind was so worn out. I'm so stressed. I don't feel like doing anything. I was just feeling like I'll just change my clothes, change my attire, and leave the hospital and go. And that is when I came to realize postpartum depression was real. Because now taking care of a premature baby was the hardest thing I've ever thought. But at the same time, I had support. My husband was supporting me. I had people coming to visit me in the hospital. they were giving me courage. They were telling me, oh, you know, so many theories and so many stories of premature babies. They grow very fast and everything. So I had a great support that helped me heal. But I can't say the healing came just at once, because I remember so many times I've cried in my bed in the hospital when I'm alone. I've cried so much. Sometimes I feel I'm worthless to my baby. Sometimes I feel as if I brought this kid to the world to suffer. And I would just pray to God and ask God so many questions that I don't think it was the wise thing to do. But now, what do I have to do? So I had to encourage myself. I had to feed. I had to be positive, remembering that I was told to be positive, remembering that I was told I have to give the baby the vibe so that the baby can also push, because even the baby is trying to survive. I remember one day my husband told me, you know, this baby is a premature baby, but he's fighting so much to grow up and be like other kids, to catch up with and be like other kids. And you're busy here crying. You don't want to feed the baby and everything. So that word, like, my baby is fighting to grow like other kids, was the only motivator that I had by then. Fast forward, after like 2 weeks of being in the nursery every day, going there, and no, I see things are not even improving. My baby has just added like 50 grams. So from 1.710 to 1.760 was like, oh, at least my baby has added 50 grams. So if I feed my baby well, I continue pumping the milk and taking to the nurses for the baby to feed, my baby will be strong. So I'll be leaving the hospital anytime soon. But now another thing came up. My baby, the jaundice in my baby had not cleared, so we had to return the baby back to the phototherapy machine to at least reduce the jaundice in the baby. That day I shattered 20 times. I remember I cried and called my husband and told him, do you know the baby has to go back to the chemotherapy? Not the chemotherapy, the phototherapy. The baby has to, like, I have to stop seeing the baby for like a day or two so that they can focus on the baby. And that was the last thing I expected. I shut so down. I cried. I felt as if I'll die. And I don't know what he took or what he felt that he had to come back to the hospital. And now him trying to explain to me, it's good that the baby undergoes the phototherapy again. It's for the goodness of everything, and everything for me it was like a no. I was expecting now, what I was thinking in my mind is, the first time my baby went for that phototherapy, he reduced on his weight. Now this is the second time. My baby has just gained 50 grams and now you want to take him back to the phototherapy thing. I was seeing as if my baby will just reduce the kilos to 1 kg. And that was the worst thing a mother could ever want to hear. So I cried that night. And my husband was like, why are you even crying? Why are you doing this to the baby? You should be positive. You should. No, it started even now. It came off from not even advising me or being there for me. And now it became as if we are fighting, because I truly didn't want to see my baby undergo another pain. You know, after the phototherapy, there was a specialist who was doing the testing birds and circling birds. So when the guy was coming and doing all that therapy on my baby, the baby could not feed. So even that one gave me stress, because the minute the session has started and the baby is done for the mouth reflexes to like so that the baby can feed, that thing also made the baby's feeding to be poor. So my baby can't feed well because of those reflexes. My baby can't feed well because he can't feed for like a minute. He's already tired. The jaws are tired. So either way, the specialist had to do something with my baby's breastfeeding, because if it was not done, then my baby couldn't feed. And to me, that was not like a positive thing. It was like a torture, because I didn't want to see my baby undergo any torture. So basically, all those things made me feel as if my world was just crashing. But at the end of it all, we worked so hard with the nurses. They helped me. I used to stay in the hospital. I had my own private room. I had to stay in the hospital to take care of my baby, feed the baby, be there for the baby. We used to kangaroo a lot. And most of the time, I would leave my room at 6 a.m. in the morning or 5 a.m. in the morning, go to the nursery, feed my baby, at least make the baby large, even if he's not breastfeeding. So I would stay with my baby there, and I couldn't realize that the time is over. So by the time my husband comes to visit us in the hospital, I would know it's almost 10. We stay with him until lunchtime. After lunch, until at around 4, he leaves. And maybe the next time I'll see him is tomorrow, or he might come back and be with me in the hospital the whole night. So the good thing, he would help me kangaroo. So I'll kangaroo during night and shift, and him will do it during the day. So we used to alternate that. And with that, I understand my baby grew, and we were getting connected, like we connect with our baby. But now the nurses found that I would stay in the hospital from 5 a.m. in the morning, sometimes until late. The only time I would break is when I have visitors coming to see me. I have my colleagues coming to see me. I have my sister-in-law coming to be with me. I have other people coming to see me. Generally, I had support from my family. My sister-in-law was there for me. My husband was there for me. And my colleagues also, those who are close to me, they came and visited me. They encouraged me. And I had to push on well until when now the doctor said it's time for Pauline to leave the hospital. That was one of the happiest days in my life. I was so happy. Staying for 21 days in that hospital was not a joke. And now I felt as if I've forgotten everything about the world. Like, I can't even say my home direction. I'd even forgotten how my house looks like. I was just feeling as if I'm a new person in a new place, because taking my baby with me home was one of the best feeling I've ever felt. But still, I had one fear in me. My baby is not breastfeeding when you're in the hospital. So what will make my baby feed or breastfeed when you go home? So the doctor had told me, you have to be careful. You need to train your baby on bottle feeding, because if your baby is not going to breastfeed from you, then the baby must know how to pull milk from the bottle, because you can't give the baby milk forever using a syringe. It will never work. So you have to train your baby on how to feed. So that was the most challenging thing. And by the time I was leaving that hospital door, I just stood and looked back at the name of the hospital, and I had to tell my mind that it was the best service I ever received in that hospital. I'm hoping and praying that my baby will be good, and I should never come back there with my baby, that my baby is sick to be admitted or anything. But guys, I was so shocked the minute we landed home. My baby feeding reflexes came back. My baby fed for the very first time. I breastfed my baby. He fed until he was satisfied and slept. Since that time, my baby added weight, kept on adding weight. And I've never had issues with him. The guy has never fallen sick. But now, you know, the mother instinct that, oh, my baby is coughing. The new mom thing. My baby is my baby is choking. Oh, my baby is having blockage and everything. But currently, I've come to learn that all these things happen to babies. And at least I have someone who helps me when my baby is not feeling well. Or if I see something is not, I've never seen in my baby, I normally consult my sister-in-law who helps me. I'll put her details on the description bar. Can you go check her channel? And to me, it has been a journey, and an easy journey being home with my baby. And guys, my baby is grown, so we are turning 4 months very soon. So guys, that was my journey of premature baby and postpartum depression. Currently, can I say I have depression? Sometimes I tend to forget. So the only postpartum depression I have, but I can't term it as a depression, is I forget a lot. Sometimes I call people different names. Sometimes I talk to my baby and I'm waiting back for the response if my baby is not breastfeeding. If the baby is crying too much, I don't know why the baby is crying. Is it the diaper? Is it your stomach? Is it heat? Is it what is making you cry? I'm like confused. Sometimes I even talk to the baby and I'm like, what's wrong with you? And then later I come and ask myself, like, why am I even talking to this person who doesn't give me feedback? So it's me as a mother to know what is wrong with the baby. Like, try do all your best. If it's the diaper, try change the diaper, try remove clothes, try to do something and see if the baby doesn't keep quiet, then no, the baby is not feeling well. The time is not well. Yeah, so I've learned a lot and I'm enjoying the journey. I'm trying to cope with everything like a new mom, and I know with time everything will just change and I will be the best mom. So guys, that has been my journey through postpartum depression and taking care of a preterm baby. So guys, let me know on the comment section, what have you gone through? Maybe with a newborn baby who was full term, and for those who have preterm babies, let me know. Comment on them. Comment down below and let me know what you have gone through and what more you want to hear, that or what more you want me to share about my journey of having a preterm baby or being a preterm mom. So guys, until the next one, peace.